Hi guys, hope you all are doing well and had a good day in the market. We start with the disclaimer as always, right? Anything and everything that will be shared in here is purely for educational purposes only. Anything and everything that will be shared. Sorry, it's too loud. I have a jet on my head. Anything and everything will be purely for informational purposes only, right? So what did we analyze last yesterday? I couldn't do the analysis because I was all out and didn't have access to my laptop. So we said, this could be an ABC, or this could be a 1 2, and then we are going further up. So this was on today is what day? Today is Thursday, right? I keep getting confused with the expiry. On Tuesday is when we analyzed this, and today the markets basically, I said, time to stay cautious with longs, but then we had the GST, bumper announcement, and the market did a phenomenal gap up, right? Look at that gap up in here from where the markets closed. We're talking about 260 odd points, but on the flip side, the entire gain got sold into, and Nifty closed relatively muted, right? So the other disclaimer that I wanted to give was, if you're already confused, I'm going to confuse you even more today, because if I look at this market with a bullish view, it's giving me all the data points to be bullish. And if I look at the same market with a bearish bias, it is giving me all the data points to be bearish, right? So nonetheless, let's start with a neutral bias and see, what the markets did, right? So if I look at on the price, right? Look at this, from this candle onwards, we've been doing continuously higher highs and higher lows, right? This one was more an inside bar that I had posted yesterday on YouTube, right? So if I'm not around, look for my post. And then today, the market got sold into, right? I personally did not expect, this kind of selling, but yes, I, had posted that, there is a possibility of a selling right at the opening, and it gave that, grinding selling all day, right? Keeping me on toes. So price on daily is definitely, bullish. While we have this, green candle, it is still, sorry, red candle, it is still done higher high and higher low, and close above the previous day's high, right? So price is still bullish. Let me add the volumes to see. Yeah, I mean, nothing alarming as such, right? So daily price is bullish, weekly price is bearish, hourly price is bearish, right? So it's a mixed khichdi. So right now, if you look at from a long-term standpoint, on a weekly time frame, it is bearish, right? On a daily, it is bullish. On hourly, it is bearish. So they are not in sync, right? They are off sync, and it will be interesting to see if they all can align, right? A different time frame, multi-time frame analysis is what we call this as, right? So that's inconclusive, right? I'm not able to conclude what would happen for tomorrow, right? On a shorter term, if the hourly turns bullish, that will be in sync with the daily candle, and we'll see what happens there, right? So with that said, if I look at the options data, I have to keep reminding, and so should you all, that Tuesday is the expiry, because I was in the impression at some point I thought the market is expiring today, right? But we'll get used to it. Here, change in OI clearly 4.65 crores to 82 lakhs. So this is clearly almost 8 5s or 45 5 is to 1 ratio of call writing, which is bearish. Change in OI was bearish clearly, and the overall open OI, look at that, right? Some unwinding in here. If I turn this off, 24 800 is clearly a resistance, right? And then 24 700 is a support, a weak support, and then 24 600, and then 24 500, right? Look at where the markets have closed. um, right? It's closed at around 24,748, 748, right? And that's where the support is 24,700 and 24,800, right? And so the overall open OI is bearish as well. So price is not in sync in any of the clear direction. Options data is bearish, and now we'll look at the Elliott wave, right? And remember, we'll have both the possibilities open. So, and also, the trend line, this is something that is going to be very, very important. As long as this trend line is respected, um, I will continue to be bullish, right? And or if it breaks that down, it can be a positional trade, right? And the other thing that I wanted to share in here was this channel in here, right? Before we get into Elliott wave, let's look at other things, right? Look at this parallel channel. Now the question here is, has this broken out or is this a fake breakout? We don't know, right? Typically, closing is always risky, specifically, the last 15 minutes candle. So if I look at, this candle, this cannot be conclusively, learned as a breakdown or a fake breakdown as yet, because price has to confirm, right? So this is one of the reasons why we are neither bullish nor bearish. And if you add RSI, there is a mild divergence, right? But hey, again, at closing, not a great conviction in terms of how it is closed, right? So looking at the Elliott wave, I think things are pretty clear, right? This entire wave is a correction. We were looking at this as an impulsive wave, but I think I'm more convinced now for it to be an ABC, and so is this, right? ABC. Now, if that is the case on a larger degree, are we going to do an ABC in here? We don't know, right? So this is going to be a larger degree if I make it to primary, right? Now here, this bounds in here clearly can either be an ABC, right? And then, this is an A, pay attention, this becomes A, and then this becomes B, and then, we're unfolding C, on the upside, right? And for B, we could drag it all day, right? This is one of the bullish possibilities. Um, with respect to a corrective wave, right? And or if this is an impulsive wave, we're talking about 1 2 1 2 and going up, right? So B, if tomorrow the market drags all day in here, this is going to be a B, either a drag and or a triangle. We're talking about a B and C wave up, right? And we could do something like what we did here, right? So that's possibility number one. You're going to get confused at the end of the day, right? Because there's this divergence, and this could be an ABC, a zigzag in here, right? This clearly is a phi wave because of the gap up that we saw in here, and B in here, and then we're doing C up. If this condition has to be valid, we'll have to technically see a gap up, right? So that's the possibility there. The other possibility is, if I look at the retracement from in here, this is something that we looked at yesterday. This has got supported golden fib, right? So that's number one. Then again, if I look at from in here to here, we are in that zone in here. And if I take a step back and do basic, Dow theory, we've done this high in here, right? A low in here, and then we've done a higher high. Is this a lower, higher low? It's a big question mark that's open, right? And when will this validate? I will only be bullish when it breaks the high of this, is when we would be, doing a higher high, which will also validate this channel that we looked at, right? With this fake breakdown, that is when it will validate this, right? So these are the bullish possibilities that I had. Um, Based on price action, this is what will be more inclined towards, right? But if I look at the Elliott wave in here, if this is an ABC, and if we do a gap down and break this is going to be a wave down south, which is this ABC is over, right? And this is something that I was chasing all day today, but really could not materialize, which is one, this being a leading diagonal, right? And then this completes a wave one, two, and then we're unfolding wave three, right? This is the possibility when this slanting trend line is taken out, right? This is what I would be looking at if this trend line is taken out. If not, if we do a gap up, then this becomes an A, 5, 3, and 5, right? Of course, C is more truncated than A. So, overall, it is a mixed khichdi, right? C is truncated all the way up to just, 61.88% of A. So, tomorrow's opening is going to be very, very important. Price on daily is bullish, options data is bearish. The sentiments for India is bullish because I think, GST was a bumper, right? A truly a Diwali gift to all of us because I think, this domestic reduction of taxes will help the domestic business in a big way. While if I look at Reliance, it did not react to the way that it should have. So some of the sectors did gain. I haven't looked at which sectors, but this is what it is, guys. Right? These are the two possibilities that I'm looking at. Will this parallel channel will this be validated? I don't know. Can this be a fake breakdown that it convinced everyone to be bearish? It can also do that because today, I'm sure many of us got trapped, right? When we see a good news, we always run to buy it, right? So there's a possibility that they've convinced us to be bearish, and then boom, we're doing a gap up, right? The other possibility that we looked at was this is a one, right? This is a one. This is a two, this is one of three, and then we're doing two of three, and then three of three is going to be a massive gap up. This is one of the possibilities that is definitely open. So I am stepping out with a very neutral view. If I look at this market with a bullish view, I'm getting all the data points that is convincing me. If I look at it from a bearish view, I'm convinced that tomorrow we could do a gap down, right? And based on price, this is something that we spoke about in here, right? We said we could do a retest. So if I look at the price from here on daily, right, it clearly gave a breakout. It has now retested, right? So based on price, is this a retest, and are we, going to go up, which is in this zone? Right, this zone. Now will we get a doji tomorrow and then boom up? That's also a possibility that is open. So guys, do comment what you think. Are you bullish, are you bearish, or are you on both sides, or are you neither? Because I think we're at a very interesting juncture today, right, with how the markets have evolved. And I'm pretty lost and confused on where the markets would go from here. Guys, that is all I had. Have a great rest of the day. Cheers. Bye now.